YouTube, what's up? Back again for another daily fishing video here on Andrew Trail Fishing. Made it to upstate New York for the Bassmaster Open at Thousand Islands. I've never been to this body of water before, and I've heard all these great stories from all the guys that I know that have come up here, caught really big smallmouth. Well, yesterday I got to experience that. I caught this 6.63 pound smallmouth, my new personal best. It was an absolute monster. I'm just gonna tell you guys, this place is absolutely loaded. Did I go just out there and just kill them? No, not really. I mean, I caught a big one. I caught a big bag of fish. I just didn't catch very many, not as many of the right ones that I really needed to catch. But, you know, the nice thing is there's a lot of days of practice left. So I've got a lot of time to try to dial this in a little bit more than what I have currently. You know, today I woke up and the wind was absolutely howling. And it kind of reminded me of a few things that I've never really talked about on here. A few things that I think that y'all need to know if you ever come to this area, or maybe if you're just on your particular lake and it's really, really windy, a few things that you need to keep in your boat. First and foremost, you know, and this isn't something I just keep in my boat all the time, but it is something that when I get on these really big bodies of water, it makes life way, way easier, and that's a cordless drill. You know, I know it sounds super simple, and people are going to say, well, you can do the same thing with a screwdriver, but you can't. If you get in a situation where you've got to fix something really, really fast, a cordless drill will absolutely help. This is just a cheap one I got from Lowe's, but I keep this particular one in my boat only in situations where I feel like I'm going to have to use it, and that makes a world of difference. Another thing that I keep in my boat is located in this back compartment. As you can see, here's a red rope tied to this cleat on the back side of my Bass Cat boat. This is what they call a drift sock. And the nice thing is how this boat is set up, there's actually a compartment right there, and I can throw my drift sock out at any given time, and then whenever I'm done using it, I can stow it right back in, tighten that rope up, and close this. So when you get in these big water situations, and like, for instance, Thousand Islands, Lake Erie, St. Clair, places that ideally don't have stumps, and the wind gets to blowing and you're getting in those 3 and 4 foot waves, your trolling motor's just coming out of the water non-stop and you can't hold, well, you have to drift. Well, the problem is if you drift too fast, it can be detrimental to your success. I'll just say that. It's something I learned a long time ago by a buddy of mine at Lake St. Clair, and Mike's his name, and he's a great friend of mine. I've talked about him before about fishing tubes, but he really helped me understand the science behind using the drift sock. And truth be told, you really need about 2 and possibly 3 drift socks, no doubt about it, because when you get in those really, really big wind situations, especially on the really big lakes, the slower you can make yourself go, the more successful you're going to be, especially if you're fishing a real vast area. You know, now, for the guys that are like on Toledo Bend and there's a bunch of stumps, do not use that. You will swamp your boat, you will break stuff. It's just not what you need to do. But you know, that's a couple things. I'm going to go to the front of the boat, and we're going to talk a little bit about a few things that you need up there. When you get in big water situations, like I have here at Thousand Islands, like you have back home in some situations, there's one thing that we all kind of overlook, and it comes with every trolling motor that you buy just about, and that is a simple strap. You know, you make sure one thing that you do, if you have a live scope, that you go inside the cord, you don't go over this part, because you don't want to pull out the top part of your live scope. You either go over it or have your troll motor where you can put it just on the cable itself, but not pulling on this head unit. A strap, as simple as it is, when you get in really big water situations, will save your troll motor. You know, the deal is, guys, when you get in those real big waves, your boat's going to be coming up and down, up and down. Well, this is going to take the brunt force of that, you know, of that beating. So by having that troll motor strap, you're going to save yourself from your troll motor just flying off of here. And I promise you guys, if you do that, it'll make your day way, way better. It has saved my life a bunch of different times. And if it's really, really bad, a lot of times I'll actually add a second strap up here, or maybe even tie it down. I've done that too. I know it sounds crazy, but when you get in 5, 6, 7, 8 foot waves, it makes a world of difference, and it'll save your equipment. One thing that I always have in my boat on those really, really rough days is my butt seat. You know, a butt seat saves my back, and honestly, it will save you from falling in, especially on those really rough days. When you get out here on lakes like Thousand Islands, St. Clair, Erie, Toledo Bend even, any of those lakes that have big water potential, and you're coming up and down, maybe you're banging off a stump, whatever it may be, That butt seat will truly help you stay in the boat. And I think that's probably more so important than anything. You can lean on it, you can sit on it. There's a lot of different things that it does, but it allows you to run the trolling motor without trying to keep your balance. Because the hardest part is whenever you get in those really big waves and you're coming up and down, maybe you have to go cross wave, you know, and your boat's doing this the whole time, trying to stand on 1 foot and keep 1 foot on the trolling motor is nearly impossible. I'm not saying it is impossible. When you get in 4-foot waves, it's pretty darn hard. So you have your butt seat up there, it will make it so much easier for you guys. I promise you, if you try that, it will definitely help you. Number 5 on the list is not something you take with you. It's not going to help you catch more fish. It's not going to keep your balance, but it will help you get back in at the end of the day. And that is checking your bolts. I can't say that enough, guys. When you get in these big water situations, it's almost important to check your bolts almost daily. In some cases, every other day. But when you get in really big waves, if you crack a bolt, let's say in your motor or maybe in your jack plate, even your troll motor brackets, all of those things, when you get in really big waves, they will come loose. So you have to make sure you check them. Check where the actual motor mounts to the Atlas jack plate and where the Atlas jack plate mounts to your transom. Those 2 bolts, that whole series of bolts is definitely something that can break and sometimes loosen over time, and especially they loosen way faster in bigger water. So check those bolts out. Check the bolts on your trolling motor. Last thing you want to do is get stranded out there and have something break that you could have prevented if you'd have just paid attention. You know, I've been out there, I've done it. I've left bolts loosened on accident. You know, I was young, I didn't really pay attention, broke some bolts, had some bad things happen. But if you really pay attention, guys, you will save yourself a ton of headache when you're out there on the water. Number 6 on the list, and the final one on the list, is one that I absolutely think that you need if you're a serious bass head. You know, I started using this thing about a year ago. Let me tell you guys, it has made a world of difference. Helps me carry less things in the boat. Definitely makes things easier, especially in these big water situations. And that's my Power Pole Charge. You know, this isn't just some product push on the Power Pole Charge. This is truly something I think you should have. You know, the deal is, what happens is when you run your big engine, it will actually charge your trolling batteries. You heard that right. It will charge your trolling batteries. So when you're out there and you're in 4 or 5 foot waves and you're trying to troll and your battery's going dead, old school, you know, that's what would happen. By 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, your batteries would be toast. Well, now you don't have to worry about that. Anytime you idle back up on your drift or anything like that, it's going to charge those batteries, and it makes a big difference. The other thing is that it absolutely does that I think is so awesome. It has a jumping feature, so you can actually jump off your trolling batteries without unhooking everything and doing all that. That makes a big difference. So if you're trying to jump start your big motor, you can do it now with the Power Pole Charge by using that particular feature. Guys, I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a few things that you might need the next time you're out there on the big water. You know, and it doesn't have to just be the Great Lakes. This can be in all big water situations. And maybe you just take these tips to helping you the next time you're out there fishing, no matter what body of water you are. Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.